Well, before I get started on this, just a little shout out to this new cup I got. You may have heard of them. Some of these are called the Yetis. We were at Costco the other day. They had a package of 2 of these. These are not Yetis. Yetis are like 30, 40 bucks a thing. It says reduce. Reduce. There was 2 of these in the box. I want to say it was like $21. I don't think it was 30. I thought it was 21, but even if it was 30, you're getting 2. And they do the same thing as the Yeti. I poured this thing, just water and ice, a while ago. Okay? Looking down in there, my water is still freezing cold, and the ice cubes are still in there, barely even melted. So I got a little something kind of special today. I need to go back and cover the 2017 cover of the Economist magazine and the Lost Book of Nostradamus, because I was recording it a few nights ago. I'm like, oh, it's one of those old, shows from the History Channel, from years ago, even before 2012. And there was one coming up after it, so I recorded that one and then the one after it. And I'm watching it tonight. I finally decided to sit down and watch the thing. I like going back sometimes at some of these old things and like looking, does anything stand out nowadays? Do I see anything new? And by God, I think I've made some kind of connection. So on the right here, right side of my screen, or your screen, is the Trump stuff. This whole entire set of 8 cards, as you remember probably, was from the 2017 Economist magazine cover. Again, this cover, or that the company, is partially owned by the Rothschild banking dynasty family. And the 1988 cover talks about get ready for a new world currency in 2018. 30 years to the date, okay? So we're not talking about that one though. And I saw some imagery on the TV instantly. Oh my gosh, that looks like the tower card. That looks like the tower card. Oh my gosh. So I saw something else. Wait a minute. I've seen that little spoked wheel. Well, that's the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, and then the magician or the wizard. Talk about this wizard. Well, that's funny. There's the magician. And I'm like, And they show these, the Isis star, moon thing, at least for the Nostradamus. But first, anyways, and here's the thing. I don't know what the connection is necessarily between these two, other than they show some similar things, and I think maybe what the Economist magazine is foretelling is what Nostradamus was trying to foretell. And as I did a little bit of research about all this before I did this video, going back to the old History Channel show I was just watching, with this book, the Lost Book of Nostradamus, they talk about all these solar alignments and, astrological alignments. And they basically span from, as you guessed, the end of 2012 Mayan calendar to 2013, 2014. They were showing that a lot of what they thought was being portrayed in the Nostradamus stuff was during this time frame. So we're in the time frame, basically, if we're to believe the Nostradamus stuff. Based off of the astrological cycles that have been deciphered from that stuff, we are in that time frame right now. What are the chances that the Economist magazine decides to shove all that stuff back into our faces that was done, 2010, 2011, whenever it actually first came out on the History Channel? Because in it, they're talking about the year 2012, like as if it hasn't happened yet. But nonetheless, I feel like the Rothschild / Economist magazine, this isn't just tarot cards, or if you're from the dirty South, tarot cards. There's more to this, and I think it goes back to what Nostradamus said. And again, the tower card, if you look, it almost looks like the ISIS flag kind of a thing, right, on the left. And then Jesus on the cross, Christianity on the right. And there's, they're coming together. The tower's being divided. Is there a war, etc. The same thing is being said. And by the way, this is posted, as you see, October 7th, 2010. So maybe that's when this came out on TV. I don't know. But they also said and kind of concluded that it looks like there's going to be a war between ISIS and Christianity and, Muslims and stuff, mainly ISIS. But again, radical Islam, that's what they say ISIS is. So first, I want to show you the Tower card, which, excuse me, isn't here. Stand by. The Lost Book of... how do you even spell that? Stand by, people. Stand by. I was just here, and I'm like, oh, it's on that page too. But for whatever reason, that page did not capture it. Here it is. Pinterest. Okay. So here's the Tower. This was on the TV show, by the way. And it says on the right, from the Lost Book of Nostradamus, the real one. It was posted on Pinterest. So I want you to just look at that tower. Fire, it's whatever. And then you look at the Trump Tower one, or I should call it the Trump Tower, but the one in the Economist on the right. Pretty similar. One's round, the other one's more squared. But nonetheless, it's interesting that they both have that. So I saw that and was like, that's kind of interesting. So back here, I want you to look at the death card, okay? Number 4, bottom left, death card. It looks like a mushroom cloud. Looks I don't know how well you can see this, but the fish in the like what used to be a river or a pond or something, it's a dead fish, which is, could be an astrological symbol. The fish, the age of Pisces. A lot of this is astrological. But if you don't mind, look at this. This was also from the book of Nostradamus. Let me scroll that up a bit for you. Oh, either one. You can look at this one or that one. And we have a very similar picture, which everyone said, oh, that's a tree. He wrote a tree. He's drawing a tree. Nostradamus was, it's a tree. And you look at it here, and here's a more colored, rather than the black and white one. And you could argue that does kind of look like, it looks like a tree. But I thought that was interesting. That's two things that came to mind. Then I see this, and this is here like 2 or 3 different times, different scenes. First of all, do you see the bottom left corner right here? The Jesus, I call it the Jesus fish. Age of Pisces, 2 fish lying on the ground, right? Or whatever, 2 fish. One's upside down, one's not. Again, back to that same death card. And if you look, for whatever reason, I don't know why he says the combo, but these two go together apparently. So we have this death card with the little mushroom cloud that looks eerily similar to this one on the Nostradamus page here. And then next to it, we have the 2 fish. And funny enough, same card has a dead fish in the, whatever that was, a river, whatever it was. But again, is it trying to say not necessarily death and destruction? Or, yes, it is saying death and destruction. Number one, the name of the card is death. But age of Pisces, again, a little hint of astrological alignments. I don't know. But then I saw this wheel with the spokes, right? So if you look at the second to last card, bottom right, Wheel of Fortune, if you look inside the card, there's spokes. We have spokes inside this wheel. And they do look kind of wooden, kind of like this one. Wheel of Fortune. And one of these things on the TV show, it was referring to Nostradamus as the wizard, and he's the wizard, this and that. And I'm like, wizard? Wait a minute, isn't there a wizard card? I'm like, oh, nope. I pulled it up. It's the magician card. What's another name for a magician? A wizard. And notice the wizard, or in this case, the magician, holding the little staff thing, right? I don't know if it's on this one, but in the TV show, it showed 2 different times somebody holding a staff type of thing. I'm trying to see if it's on this particular, and not this little thing here either. Let me go back to this one and see if I can find it. Now, this is one, again, from Pinterest. It's very small. Nostradamus Vatinicia Code, the Lost Book of Nostradamus. So here's this, Pope or what have you, holding his little rod or whatever. And is that what they're trying to say? Maybe the magician is kind of the Pope, hidden behind the scenes. Because also inside that same documentary or episode, whatever you want to call it, on History Channel, the same one I'm talking about, they're saying it almost looks like Nostradamus is saying the Pope himself is like, the evil one or the Antichrist or whatever. The whole, the church being exposed and the Pope. And we have this one, Nostradamus, Lost Book, Plate 41, Pope Francis, Turkey. This is what someone said, maybe their conclusion. And you have this guy with the shield. And again, this larger guy holding this thing again, kind of like the magician, right? There's another picture from the book. There's that spoked wheel again, right? Some interesting scenery. Here's this one, different one. Also, it says, Black Pope Francis lost video, Nostradamus lost book. So this is all from this lost book. And there he's holding this thing again, And that looks like the Pope. Again, he's got the little crown with the cross, etc. Looks that way to me. I'm just going to look at these for a second, just to see if there's anything different than. Anyway, so I guess I'm done with that one. But anyway, so I just saw there's a few connections here. So I pointed them out, and it's not even this page actually. Let me just get this off the screen so it doesn't mess with you. But it's essentially, Trump, king of the world, he's on the world, whatever, Mr. Trump. We saw the thing on TV years ago that I'm talking about, the Lost Book of Nostradamus. And I'm seeing things on there. Oh, I think that's in the cards. Oh, I think that's also in the cards on the Trump thing, which prompted me to go to my computer after I was done and search for the stuff to show you. When I look at this, I almost wonder, which is why I'm doing this video, if the Rothschilds, knowing I'm sure what the hell's going on and what's going to be coming for sure, putting that back out here was to say this is the time frame, all these things are going to be happening, and it's when Trump's in power because he's the president now, so we're going to put him on there. So I went and looked at this video, and it's all about, end times, prophecy, doom, whatever. And it talks about, but we have this alignment. If you look at because there's more than just these pictures. It got the bull and the Scorpio. Let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, here's kind of one. Let me pull this one up. Let me see if I can. Just trying to stretch this a little bit better for you. And it's not working very well at all. Hang on, let me just do this. All right, for the time being. So, see the Scorpio, and he's got this thing in the middle of his, like in front of his claws. That's kind of like a symbol of the Milky Way galaxy, which is the point they were making on the video too. There's the wheel again with the spokes. It's got these like these eclipse within an eclipse within an eclipse, or whatever this is right here where my mouse is. And someone put next to it, this specific alignment of planets, whatever. And I'm thinking, remember the 3 blood moon thing? Remember that, which happened not that long ago? Is that what these 3 moons in the sky in this picture represent? Because if they were just circular, you could easily confuse it. Well, is that a planet? Is it the sun? What is it? Well, if Nostradamus says, oh, well, I need to make sure I let people know it's absolutely the moon, you could do a little crescent times 3, some kind of blood moon thing reference. I don't know. But again, this thing was also in there, this, Scorpion, which is, again, Scorpio, in my opinion. So I'm seeing that. The top card, the Hermit, again, there's the same similar kind of a moon shown as I just showed you, the little crescent moon. And it looks like it's partially eclipsed because it's got the little black spot. And if you look at this image much closer, like you find it online and download it, you'll see it's some type of eclipse as well. So anyways, people who are putting all this together, and the Pisces and the Scorpion and Scorpio and all that, said, and they showed it in the documentary too, It's from like the end of 2012 when the first type of alignment happens. Then we have 2013 one happens, 2014 one happens. Strangely enough, I didn't catch this in the documentary at all. A very big alignment happens, as I've been talking about for a while now, this September 23rd, 2017, which is Virgo, the Virgin, giving birth to a bright star going through her womb, which happens once every 2,000 years or something. I don't know the exact cycle, which again is funny. And isn't 2,000 years ago when Jesus was around, supposedly? Or was it that Mary, or Virgo, Mary the Virgin, gave birth to a star because it was astrological alignment to let future generations know that's what we meant, not this religious bogus garbage. This is all we were trying to tell you. Watch the stars, as the Bible even tells you. Speaking of religion stuff, there will be signs in the skies, right? Doesn't it say that? There will be signs in the skies. I think those signs in the sky, some of them have already passed. And there's a big one, probably the most important one, allegedly anyways, happening September 23rd, 2017. Just type that into Google, into YouTube. September 23rd, 2017. You will see a couple videos there that will lay it out nicely. So I think this is the Rothschilds telling us the time for all the stuff, including what Nostradamus said, is happening now. We're going to put some of the same clues that he used. Talk about strikingly similar. The Tower card, the mushroom thing that looks like a tree, the fish, Pisces, all the stuff I'm saying. The guy with the magician, so to speak. The wheel, the spinning wheel with the spokes, that's also in there. So I just wanted to share that with you because this is a whole different meaning. I don't think anybody on YouTube has connected any of this with Nostradamus like that, the lost book. And maybe I'm mistaken, I just haven't found them, but I don't know if that's happened. This is an old episode, and it made me think of this, which is why I came in here and found all these similarities. Very interesting. So I do what I do and share it with my peeps to let you do with it whatever you want to do with it. Here.